Hi, everybody. My name is Juliet, aka Julie Mango. I love to eat food, and I wish that I could find matching pairs of earrings in the mornings when I'm getting ready. But we could dream, and also
Yeah.
matching pairs of socks. I love mangoes, and I like chicken and tofu.
Tofu.
Yeah,
That's the most un-Jamaican thing.
I
Tofu
know. But that's my two favorite: chicken and
and
tofu.
tofu. Okay, okay. So is that where the Juliet mango thing come from because you love mangoes?
Yes.
Because
My dad gave me that pet name when I was little because there's a Julie mango tree at the front of the yard, and I used to
yeah.
sit under the tree, sit in the tree, just eating mangoes all day when it's mango time.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. Because I thought the Julie mango also had something to do with your Jamaican roots, and it still is in there,
Oh, I
right?
never thought of. Well, yeah, I guess it could play that part, but it originated from me eating mangoes and daddy, him being, because I got my personality from him. So
Oh,
him
okay.
being a joker and a teaser just
Yeah.
decided, all right, your name is Julie Mango.
Oh, okay, okay. So your father is the funny one in the family. That's
Yes.
where you get your comedy side from. I was just saying, guys, that what I find most uh, fascinating, I guess, about Juliet's content is how well she has been able to capture the Jamaican spirit. Every single skit or sketch, as you want to call it, comedic sketch, and I'm imagining myself either doing the thing. Let me tell you which one got me. The one when you were up, when you were talking about height, and you're like, all Jamaican people are the only set of people that will be high up, and instead of they're going, wow, look at the beautiful view, they're going, yo, imagine if you drop off of this. And I was like, that's me. That's me. I was like, this is she knows me. I feel seen. That's literally me. So I mean, what do you think contributes to you being able to so well capture Jamaicans and how we are and our little peculiarities and the things that make us unique?
I mean, that's so much. That's kind of like such a difficult question. I mean, if I'm
Mhm.
being honest, I really don't know. But I think, and every day I just thank God for the ability because I mean, I did not expect this to blow up this much. But I
Yeah,
think it's because I am Jamaican. First of all, I mean, that would be a good,
sure.
starting point. And then
Right.
I grew up around my dad and my uncle, right?
Mhm.
Mommy also, but mommy is more the one that taught me how to dress and how to eat with knife and fork and all
Oh,
those.
she's a proper one.
Yes, and to speak proper English and those things. That was mommy. But
Mhm.
I always thought my dad and my uncle, they were very animated and they used to give stories and they're very dramatic and they were performers. So I kind of got that from them. And then I was very good at people watching and observing people's little idiosyncrasies and the things that they do. So I think it's just that. I don't know. And then I did drama for 5 years whilst I was at high
Oh,
school in
yeah.
Ayaide. There's an official drama club at Manchester High School called Ayaide. Um,
Mhm.
Headed by Miss Juliet Bodley, and I was there for 5 years. So I think all of that kind of just culminated, and here I am.
Here you are. And I mean, you are from Manchester. Is that
Yeah,
where you're from? Where in Manchester?
I am from Mandeville, Manchester, and I'm also from Four Parts, Clarendon.
Oh wow. So you're country.
Country,
On both
country,
sides, you're country. Okay.
country.
Mandeville happened to be one of my favorite places. So big up Mandeville and big up Four Paths in Clarendon. So Gillette, when you decided to, and I guess all of those things play a part because again, you have that family where your father's a performer, comedian. You know how I can almost picture your dad. To be quite honest with you,
If
I
you
can
want to picture him,
picture.
just look at the Father's Day skit that I did. That's exactly him.
That's exactly it. I can picture him, and because I can. You have that kind of Jamaican man. It's just funny. Sometimes they're not even trying to be funny, but they just open their mouth and they say some things, and it's just hilarity ensues, right? So you have that background, but that's still Juliet. You're able to so pinpoint certain things. Let me ask it this way: how do you choose which part of Jamaicanness to showcase in your content?
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is what will happen sometimes. Like I would be having a conversation All right, so
Yeah.
the very first skit, where I did praise and worship between Jamaica versus America. I didn't expect for that skit to go anywhere, but then I
That blew up.
posted it and it blew up. So it's like it started to activate my brain to
Yeah.
start to think, and I don't know, it kind of just clicked. And sometimes I've been having a conversation with someone just off the bat, and I'd be like, that's skittable. And sometimes people will send me stuff that they want to send me, that they want me to do.
Mhm.
Sometimes I will see a meme somewhere and I'm like, I could skit that. And then I would change it up a little bit. So I
Yeah.
mean, and then it's my followers, they're always sending me stuff that they want to see me do.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't I don't know what that the other day I was talking to somebody and they were asking me, how am I? And instead of saying how am I, they're like, you're good differently though. And I'm saying, I should do a skit on how Jamaicans ask, how are you? Like, you're good
Yeah.
differently though. Your level, thing cool, thing all right. Like, we don't just say, how are you? So
Yeah.
it's just in passing and different things, different exchanges that I have. And I'm like, I could probably skit that.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
really know. If I knew how to explain it, I would provide a much better answer.
No, but that's fine. I can completely. So you inspiration can come from anywhere. It's pretty much what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, and then know that you're building up a following. Your fans are like, hey, do this or do that. And Jamaican people in general, they're just a fascinating set of people. There's
Yeah,
content
it's
there
not
for
hard to
days.
find
Content
content
for
at all.
days. Content for days. But when did you, Juliet, realize that actually I'm funny? I
Oh
am
wow,
funny.
that was from like maybe first form, maybe when I was 12.
Yeah.
People been telling me, and because I posted a post on Instagram the other day.
Hmm.
Somebody found my yearbook because when we were in fifth form in high school at Manchester High, we had
Yeah.
something called the fifth form awards, where
Hmm.
the people vote. Everybody, 5-1, 5-2, straight up to 5-6 vote on the awards, and I got person to tell the funniest jokes, person like more likely to be an actress. I think
Yeah.
craziest person or funniest person. So I think people have been telling me that I'm funny, I guess. Lord of mercy. What's that title? From I was like 12.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So you've always had that comedian
Yeah.
side to you. Were you like the class clown? Because I
Oh
was the
yes,
class clown.
dear.
I was the loud one. Yeah. 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 I can.
Yes,
I
yes.
can relate. I can relate. And so it from high school to now. That's a big space of time. Why now? Why are you now deciding to start creating content around something that is a natural gift for you, which is that gift of making people laugh?
I mean, the whole growing up and think it's better you become a lawyer, it's better you become a doctor, it's better you
Yeah.
become an engineer, which is what I became. And I never thought of comedy to be something that I should pursue. I just always thought of it to be something on the side, just an extra gift that I was blessed with. So, and just it's nothing, it's just there.
Yeah.
So for this whole time between high school and now, I've just been focusing on my career. Not really. I mean, I was still the same person. My friends who knew me from before can tell you right up to this day, I'm
Mhm.
still making them laugh or whatever. So that didn't really change. It's just that literally with that first video that I posted, that's when I decided to tap into it. Um, yeah, because I've had Instagram, I've had Facebook for quite a long time, and I wasn't really creating content like that. So I didn't really, so my personality didn't change. I
Mhm.
was just focusing on what I don't know, engineering.
Yeah.
Thinking that's the way to go. And then the only reason why I'm probably tapping into it now is because that first video went viral. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should create more stuff.
Yeah, and I see that the quality of your content has gotten better too over that period of time.
Yeah, because I learn, I understand what people like a little bit more, and
Mhm.
then I'm able to fine tune the videos as time goes by. So that's what really would account for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that very first video, let's go back to that very first video that you did, because I clearly remember that video with the Jamaican church versus. I remember thinking, yeah. that she's, yeah, that's true. What inspired you to do that? Were you just fooling around one day and decided,
No,
I'm just
so
going to make a
actually,
video?
that video was done by someone else.
Mhm.
Her name is Sincerely Lee. No, Sincerely. So Sincerely Lena on TikTok did that video first. Then someone else did the video again. I don't remember the name of her, that girl. And
Mhm.
then that video was forwarded to me by my stepmom, which is my father's wife. And
Mhm.
then I saw it, and I'm like, oh, cool. Let me create a version of this.
Right. So those are Jamaican creators too?
So since yes, so since they both were Jamaican creators, right?
Mhm.
And then so I saw it and I'm like, okay, okay, let me do a version of this. And then I just did it. And
Yeah.
then whilst I was doing it, I was like, oh yes, I remember Sister Deka. She always did have the lipstick up here, so and the stars there. And she's a
Yeah.
restorer. Those are actual people in my church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I guess the reason why yours blew up, and I'm not aware of the other two, but I think one of the reasons why again, you have an ability to really capture how Jamaicans are. Then a lot of Jamaicans are not necessarily on TikTok. So I guess it blew up off of TikTok, and then person started finding out. I was like, oh, she does comedy. This is cool. But across all your platform now, because you have like 148,000 people on TikTok, you have 20,000 people on Instagram. Girl,
And I'm growing on
community
Twitter now.
growing, and
I'm
you're going
on Twitter.
on Twitter as well. So you are literally on most of the platforms that Jamaican people use. What has the reception been like? Because I've seen you everywhere. Even in my family group chat, I'm getting links to people going, oh my God, check this out. This lady's really funny. So, what has the response been like in your private family circle and just generally?
No, well, listen. Okay, I don't know. My family, them not frightened like that. So them see videos flying left, right, and center. They're like, okay, nice, okay, fine. And then no, but that's my uncle. That's Uncle Talbot. Like, I mean, so they are okay. That's good, but it's like they know me already, and they don't really understand who. When I say family, I'm talking like my dad, my grandma, my
Yeah.
uncles. All my
They
uncles
don't
are
understand the social media
yeah,
excitement.
and all my cousins are like my sister's age, which is like in their 50s. So
Hmm.
and so me, there I hardly have any cousins that's like my age group.
Yeah.
All my cousins are older, right? And they're like, all right, Julia, as long as you're safe, good, do your thing. It's like it's great.
Yeah.
So they're supporting me, they join the TikTok, they support me and stuff like that. So that's in terms of my family. As long as I'm okay, they're okay. And my dad sees all the videos of me imitating him, and all he does is laugh. Because he's older now. He's
Yeah.
75, and he's like slowing down and all these things.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of family now, the feedback has been really, really tremendous.
Yeah.
Persons, basically saying what you're saying, capturing the essence of of being a Jamaican. How where do I come up with the ideas? That's the number one question I get in my DMs. By the way, I get a lot of DMs. Yeah. That's enough. How do you come up with these stuff? And I really don't really have an answer for them. I don't have an answer.
Yeah,
But
you don't have a process necessarily.
exactly. So it's been really, really tremendous. Persons are enjoying it. What the two things that really, really get me, that make me feel fulfilled and filled with joy. Number one, when a child comments on my video,
Oh, yeah.
because parents will send pictures of their kids on their phone watching my video and saying, "This is what you cause. She's supposed to be doing her chores, and she's
Mhm.
watching Julie Mango videos." And I like
Oh,
you
that's
have kids.
awesome.
Some parents allow their kids to be on TikTok, and sometimes kids would duet my videos, and I'm
Mhm.
really glad for that, because it simply means that if I and what this guy, a little boy, he's probably not more than 13, duetted my domino video, and he was in his room, and I'm saying to myself, if his mother was supposed to bust into his room and say, "What you watching?" He can say Julie Mango videos, and then his mother would be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, safe, safe. Yeah,
And that you have no idea how that energizes me. That's
yeah.
number one. Number two, people will message me and say they've had a family member who has passed, and I've helped their family to get over it with the laughter. People say they're suffering from depression, and I help
Yeah.
them. People say I help their mental health. So those two things really make me feel like, okay, I mean, it's fine when I'm making people laugh and stuff, and that's good and thing. But when I'm affecting person's life on such a deep level, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
God, I see you using me. Vessel up here. All right, do you, boo? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that mental health thing, because you're a mental health advocate. That's
Yeah.
something you are also passionate about. Was it a conscious decision for you to create comedy to make people laugh, with the hopes that you would reach persons who need you? Because I think we don't really understand how content works in certain spaces, and as you said just now, different people react to it in different ways. Sometimes you're having a bad day and your favorite content creator comes on and says something or does something, and it makes you chuckle, and it instantly lightens the mood. Was that Is that a part of your comedy? Is that a conscious part of your comedy, to try and reach
Nope.
people who can? It wasn't.
Straight buck ups.
So it's serendipity. Okay, that's amazing though.
Straight buck ups. Because no, I was I was just doing comedy for comedy's sake. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that it helps people with their mental health. But that is just that's just straight orchestration from the Lord, not
Yeah.
me.
So talk about your mental health advocacy. Why mental health?
Because I suffered with mental health issues for about 30 years of my life, and I'm 39 now.
Yeah.
So I at the age of 8, um, I had my first episode of borderline personality disorder where I harmed myself. I used a bottle stopper and I scratched my hand right here until a little pinch of blood came out.
Mhm.
And of course, my parents didn't know. My parents just thought I was crazy. Jamaican parents, I don't really know how to deal with the whole. I mean, they can
Yeah.
work, they provide for you. Mommy feed me with the best callaloo and the best busy tea and
Yeah.
thing. But they don't know how to deal with mental health issues, and they don't know what this is. So they carry me to the pastor. Of course, the pastor pray and fling oil and this. Of course, that's not going to work if you don't address the physiology. You got to love Jamaicans. Listen, we don't give up. Right? Listen.
Okay, I have to edit this out.
Listen.
Yeah.
You
So
can
Pastor did his thing.
yes, you can depend on that olive oil, sis. Listen, all right. Yeah. So so my parents didn't know what
Mhm.
that was. And then as time progressed, I started to engage in more self-harm,
Yeah.
cutting off my hands, inhaling smoke, drinking pine salt, all of those things.
Wow.
What it was is that I was suffering from what is called borderline personality disorder, which
Yeah.
makes you suicidal.
Yeah.
And so I had severe chronic depression. I was bipolar, all of that. And I struggled with it. But what was worse than the struggle was the shame that is associated with the
Yeah.
struggle.
Mhm.
Because if you do something that's kind of off, people will be quick to say, okay, this person
She
mad. Why
might.
did not talk to she? I'm
Yeah.
mad somebody that she cool. And even though it's weird because it wasn't that bad for me because I was blessed with friends in high school who were sympathetic towards me, but at the same time there was a shame
Stigma.
associated with it,
Yeah.
with people who didn't really know me. And
Yeah.
then because I was so ashamed, I did not want to get treatment. And that's the only reason
Ah.
why it festered until only 10 years ago I tried to kill myself by writing off my
Oh.
car. Right? I attempted suicide. And then of course, so I flipped the car and by God's grace I got out scotch free. And then even after that, it my sickness got worse because I'm like, I failed at
You
suicide.
could even do that right.
Exactly. I'm failing at
I can
life. I
relate.
failed to die. So what on earth is going on? And my poor parents at that time, daddy, I told daddy, I was like, Dad, I don't know how to love myself. And the best daddy could say was, you know, you know how to love yourself. Stop it. You know. Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. He's like,
Poor thing probably didn't even know what else to
he didn't
say.
know what to do, and he was
Yeah.
crying. And so my parents, every time I go through something, they go through it twice as much because they
Yeah.
don't know what to do to help their daughter,
Yeah.
and they don't know about therapy and stuff like that,
Hmm.
right? So why I am an advocate is because I want to kill that stigma that is associated with her. Our mental health is just as important and just as deserves the same level of reverence as, say, cancer or diabetes.
Yeah.
You have cancer walks, you have cancer awareness month, you have cancer survivor. Why don't you have a suicide attempt survivor kind of a thing? Why don't you have
Yeah.
a mental health walk? Why don't you have suicide attempt survivors walk? Stuff like that to bring awareness to the whole mental health issue. And not just awareness, because everybody's aware of it, but
Yeah. It's a hot topic
is
now.
to kill the stigma, to kill,
Yeah.
because there is still a stigma. There is still a stigma. If right now they tell you Andrew Holness is bipolar, people going to start troll him on social media. But if
Yeah.
they say he has cancer, they'd be like, "Oh my God,
Oh,
bless
sympathies.
you," and let us know. I mean, even people who is PMP will turn around and start praying for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So awareness is there, but the stigma has to die, because if the stigma doesn't go, you go look at the. I won't mention her name because I'm sure the family is still grieving. But you have a woman who just killed herself the other day, and and these things happen. People try to commit suicide in them bedroom the night before, and nobody knows. They get up the next morning and
And they
smile,
go on about the business.
and they
Yeah.
don't tell anybody because of why? Not the lack of awareness, but the stigma.
Yeah.
People feel like if you are a high if you are at a bank and you are a bank manager or some high level thing, and you tell somebody you have a mental illness, suddenly people think that you can't do your job.
Yeah.
Suddenly people think that you're not due sick leave. Suddenly people think that you're incompetent, and that's not so.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, I'm very passionate
You're
about
very
it.
passionate, that's what I'm saying. It's so funny because was comedy an outlet for you while you were going through all this? Maybe
Actually,
not necessarily your
no,
content now, but while you were,
no,
it still wasn't.
no, but and I don't, and that's a
So
point
how
I
were
want.
you? How were you giving people happiness while you yourself was struggling through all of this?
Because so the jokes part is just a natural part of me, right?
Yeah.
But you see, if comedy healed mental illnesses, then
Mhm.
Robin Williams would still be alive,
Well,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting at is that comedy cannot work unless you have dealt with the issue that is causing your mental
The
illness.
core issues. Yeah.
Yeah, if you something, and then what a mental health thing is, something wrong with your brain, it's fine. Something wrong with your head,
Mm.
that's what it is. So if something is wrong with your brain, you will not be able to appreciate things that are joyful, things that are joyous. You will not be able to process those things. That's why they say the number one indication of depression is loss of interest in things that you love to do, loss of interest in your hobbies, because your brain cannot process the joy that thing gives you.
Yeah.
If you like to sing, suddenly you don't want to sing anymore. Why? Not because you can't sing, but because your brain is not able to process the joy that singing can give you.
Yeah.
So comedy is a distraction. It's not a solution. It
Mm.
will distract you, but it will only put the pause button on the real issue.
Yeah.
And the real issues have to be dealt with through therapy. There's no escape. Not a life coach.
Yeah.
Not depending on the severity of it. Not a pastor. And sometimes it can be spiritual, but you have to rule out the physical first,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So yeah.
So how did you overcome to get to this point where you can, you can openly talk about it without any shame, and you can say, yeah, I had this, I suffer with this, and here I am as kind of like a living testimony to other people that you can get it dealt with and you can get over it and you can live a happy, normal life. How did you get there?
Um so I always spoke about it openly,
Mhm.
but I used to be ashamed, right?
Yeah.
So the point where I was no longer ashamed was when I realized, okay, I am healed somewhat, because you never do. It's like a virus; it never actually leaves you.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you that mental illness leaves you.
Yeah,
You're
man.
able to manage it, just like the common flu. The common flu does not leave your body; it just becomes dormant, and
Hmm.
that's what mental illness is. You have it under control. But the point where I was able to talk about it freely is when I myself was on the other side of things,
Yeah.
because I never want for their talk say, yes, man, you can I suffer through this, and yes, you can heal. I'm me myself, not heal. I'm gonna
Not
look like
healing.
Quashi. So, and then and to put a specific time to that,
Mhm.
it would have been a little over 2 years, roughly 2 years ago, when I did therapy for about 5 years, and I'm still
Yeah,
doing therapy, because it doesn't have to be ongoing, but remember, I am unlearning 30 years of
of
damage,
this. Yeah,
right? And probably I'm still doing therapy because I'm the one that's insisting. That's my therapist. But yes.
yeah,
So the point where I can talk about it was about 2 years ago, when I realized that I am doing better. I don't need to do any self-harm. I don't feel suicidal. I don't need medication anymore. And
mhm,
I can manage, and I can function, and I can deal with stress. I have different coping mechanisms and different ways of doing things. I
yeah,
have forgiven all the stuff in my past. And also the book of Proverbs gave me a spiritual breakthrough.
mhm,
So all of that kind of just culminated into me being on the other side of things now, where I can say, hey, if you have a mental illness, there is hope. You need to go to therapy. Let the therapist decide if you need medication or if you don't, and start your journey to wellness. Just start, just start, just
yeah.
start.
Okay, that's awesome. That's an awesome message, and as somebody who has mental health issues, I can definitely rate that you can find ways of coping. There are healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms, but if
Yes.
you find healthy coping mechanism, that's all it is. Coping. This never leaves you because it's a chemical imbalance. There's nothing you can do about it. For a lot of people, it's genetic. There's just nothing you can do about it except you can choose to cope and to get under
Exactly.
control where you can manage and you can live a
A
fulfilled
normal You can live a
life.
normal life where no
Yeah,
one would have any idea that, so that
yeah,
it's and what I want to let people understand, it's no different from a person who doesn't have a mental illness, because they have something else dealing with,
yeah.
and they are living trying to live a lot. If they have high blood pressure, they go to the doctor give them medication to take it down, or the doctor say change up your diet so that they can cope with the propensity to high blood pressure. It's the same it's the
Same
same
thing.
thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, definitely. Awesome, awesome stuff. And these days it's very sexy to talk about mental health. That we
Yeah,
have a whole
everybody's
conversation. But what you said is really trying to tackle this stigma because Jamaicans culturally we're not there yet. Culturally, we're not there yet, and we tend to have a thing where you see somebody living on the streets and you automatically think, oh, man, madman, mad person. And we don't understand the sensitive nature of that
Mm-hmm.
thing that would prevent people from seeking help because of labels.
Yep.
So that's awesome, and it's awesome that you are, doing this other thing, and then over on this other side you're telling people that listen, I had this. This
Yep.
was me. But you can overcome. So that's an amazing message to have. But I want to shift back to you as a content creator now and the business side of it, because I don't know if you have gotten to the point where you started monetizing. Certainly you have the community to be able to monetize with your 140 people on TikTok, Juliet. And you're 20,000 on Instagram. Yeah, flex real hard on social media. So have you started monetizing your brand?
I have, my brand. Well, I have a little merch thing. Oops, the camera mirror. I have a little merch thing going on.
Going
Okay.
on. Yeah, the
On
Jamaican,
now.
the H. The hard H.
Yes, I have a little.
You have a little merch going on. All right.
Yeah, but and like, I have persons that, so companies have approached me to do commercials for them, but
You're
it's a
not there
little
yet.
difficult because people
Mhm.
come to my page for entertainment. They don't come to see commercials. When you watch TV, when the commercials are on, you get up, go fix a nice little sandwich in the kitchen. You're like, oh, commercial done, all right, come back.
And come back.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
So you're not an influencer, you're not reach influencer yet, or you don't really want to get
no.
into the
So I'm
influencer.
trying to see how to manage it. What I really want to do is go into acting, full
Ah,
time.
okay. Ah, okay,
Um,
full time.
yes, that's what I would really love
So,
to do.
so, so, Juliet, you know, I'm big engineer. 'Cause, you know, I'm big, 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 big engineer. 'Cause, you know, I'm b
But remember, I told you that I only did the engineering because I thought that, you
So you
know,
gonna leave your big engineer job and go hack?
yes.
Yeah, go hack.
If the opportunity comes, yes.
This is amazing. Okay, okay. Tell me about the acting. Tell me about the acting.
But I told you that I was in drama.
But so your passion was always to act.
Always from the
Wow.
idea from I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Because I was it my auntie told me that when I was three, I walked up the church aisle and went up to the pastor and said, Pastor, don't know no, let me preach. She said I did that at 3 years old. So it
Yeah.
has always, it
Clearly, you
unmistakably
have
my
a flair for the dramatics. Okay, so you're saying if opportunities come along for you to go into acting, then you'll do that, but you're not necessarily wanting to do the influencer kind of thing.
I don't know. I think I'm at a stage now where I'm figuring it all out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I just started to create content, and I have a lot of figuring out.
Guys, she's flexing on us because she just
No,
started create content and she reached 140 people on TikTok. That's a flex.
no
So
flexing
don't
right
listen to her.
here.
So don't worry about, I'm just trying to figure it
No,
out. Girl, with
no
your
girl,
140,000 people.
no girl. This is saints don't flex. No, no.
But as you know, because as a digital marketer, I'm looking at your platform and going, you can more than monetize your content because you have the audience. You clearly have a massive audience. So what do you think is the hesitation for you to just full on say, okay, let's do this?
No, I don't think it's really hesitation. I think I am figuring it out. So for example, you've been in this a long time,
Mhm.
so you are able to see ways and means that I can monetize, etc. I have no idea
Oh no.
because I've just been. Remember, my first video was November 2020.
Yeah. So it's been less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you've blown up so quick. You see, that should tell you how much of an impact your content has out there in the digital space. That should be an indicator to you
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing something pretty significant because you do have comedians, sure, yes, you have Jamaican comedians who since COVID have found a platform online and have been really taking off
Yeah,
online because people are home, they need entertainment, and usually in the usual circumstances you'd only see the big names because they're the ones who get booked for the shows, etc. But now that you're actively seeking out content, you're going to be paying attention to persons that you may not have heard of.
may not have heard.
um,
Yeah.
right, so people were blowing up, several people blew up doing that, right? You had Raul.
Mm-hmm.
You had Weishe, who I spoke to the other day, and you had several other local comedians who kind of blew up in that time. And you were kind of later on down in the year because you were like November into
Yeah,
COVID,
that's what I
and you
put up
popped onto the scene, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, this festive, we like this, right?" So maybe that was helpful for you as well because after the whole wave came and the wave was kind of people were just kind of over it at that point.
Yeah.
Here you come, so it was kind of fresh because the wave passed and now this person, so it's kind of fresh. So I guess you had that kind of working for you. But in my mind, I'm always looking at people's platform and go, this person can monetize because this is your content is superb.
Well, maybe you need to tell
um
me how to monetize off the air.
we're gonna talk off the air, girl, because you already have the audience. So, but, okay, so you said brands have been reaching out to you, but you're like, why are you?
No, because I don't know how to manage it. I want to keep the platform where people are interested but not saturated.
Sat,
So and I don't know how to manage it just yet. So
we're gonna talk
see,
because
this is
you
why we
may
need to
need
talk
an
off the air.
yeah, you may need an agent, and I see acts like Rushcam and Quiet Perry who kind of blew up online as well. They don't have agents, Mrs.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
they don't have
yes.
agents. So you may need an agent because, as I said, the audience is clearly there. And to be quite honest with you, people who your audience wants to see you grow, they wants to see you grow.
Yeah, man, your
If some go to
audience,
school,
that is singular, you know.
your audience,
Collective,
but
collective
wait,
now.
no, wait, no. You see, Jamaican, the English thing trip you up sometimes. The English thing trip you
Your
up.
audience.
Want.
Your
Want. So
audience
listen, the
wants.
audience want to see you grow.
Ah,
You
good.
understand? You
That
understand?
works.
Yeah, that works. So uh they're willing to accept certain things once you do it in moderation, because Jamaican people, they're very skittish. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so all of a sudden you I know because you're comedians, right? But they will want to see you grow. They want to see you on other platforms because they feel like they had a hand in supporting that growth.
Yeah.
And then content creation is hard. That much it might look effortless because you make it look so effortless, but somebody have to edit those videos, and somebody have to come up with the sketch, and somebody have to put the words together, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody have to find the outfit. I know that a 2-second video can take a while to create,
Yes.
edit, and put out. So to compensate you for that work, people will accept you doing, paid stuff. So you might be, what you need to do? You need to give your audience more credit than you're giving them, that they won't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I think your audience is way more intelligent. And they will understand that, listen, it's hard to create content at this level because you're like, level. And you need to be compensated for it because it's not your full-time job. So I think they will understand that, and it's always good to have a conversation. You can probably
Mm-hmm.
even make a sketch around it. You turn influencer, right? Make
The
a,
people return influencer now, and guess what? Like, true, me want to come out of my 9 to 5 and just do this full time. You have to have some ads. So I have to
have
pay.
some ads. Exactly. People understand. I think your audience will definitely understand. And I would be interested to see what you come up with in a
I've
situation
done
where,
one video ad already for Swift Gift JA. I've done one video ad, it's on my page, and I've
yeah,
only done two other ads which are photos. And I was like,
yeah.
ugh, the video ad don't get much views, and I'm like,
Yes.
I don't think I want to do this again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you were discouraged the first time you did because you didn't get the.
No, so I got the support, but it let me tell you, it felt like people saw, oh, paid partnership. Oops, all right, let me wait till she put out another video.
Yeah. And yeah. Because we're still not there with the digital yet. We're still coming to grips with the whole idea of people actually making money by creating content or from creating content. Because I've seen some mediocre white people put content out there and have like thousands of Patreon, and I'm like,
Mhm.
for this. Okay, but it happens. People do make money just from content, but
Well,
I hope you think about it some more, because
it's
I
good
think
that you
people.
mentioned Quiet Perry, because I kind of
Mhm.
like the way he did his thing and how he has grown. He has like 600,000K on Instagram, and I like how he just maintained his level.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
and branching out into other spaces, because now he's a
yeah,
presenter and he's doing all sorts of different, same within the creative,
yeah.
space. So maybe who knows, a Jamaican film coming up, they need a
Yes,
little
yeah.
success. And too, it's good if you express that, because telling people that, hey, acting is something I'm definitely
My
interested
dear,
in,
it all
will
over
peak.
my business the outer road long time. Because a lady from Fluffy Chrissy, that's her Instagram name, she
Yeah.
interviewed me from Jamaica Gleaner, right?
Mhm.
But how she did, I was so she said she messaged me on Instagram and said she was gonna interview me.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, cool, yeah, Gleaner Ray. Oh God,
Excitement, whoa.
look at me. Oh gosh, but then no, she started asking me some questions on Instagram. So I didn't think that was the interview coming. I said maybe she'll go call me. Me never know. So I said them do it now. But I'm just ask
Oh,
some question for Instagram and do the article. Apparently that's how
oh.
it's done, and that's so yeah, man. Cause the article was well written and thing.
Mhm.
So she asked me what I want to do. And I said, would I love your a film producer just find me and put me in our movie.
Yeah.
My girl, I the same thing she put in the cleaner. I was so him Boris. And the title of the thing says Julie Mango hopes to move from TikTok to the big screen. Man, I said, Lord,
Well, it's true. It's true. And but putting it in your content is good too. So people know that okay, so she was actually serious about this thing and she wants that. But I think you'd be good in the acting space because you're very dramatic.
I actually have one Nollywood film coming up at the end
Ooh,
of July.
excitement.
Nollywood is an African based.
Yes, yeah, it's like Hollywood but Nollywood,
And
and
what
then
I
you
would
have
love if
Bollywood,
Jamaica,
which is the Indian base. Yeah, so
yeah, and I
yeah,
would I
yeah,
love if Jamaica could have a Jollywood. I mean, Jollywood, Jamaican man, they're not gonna like
that's
no
so
with Jolly
funny.
and with night. So.
I was just about to say, we
Not
might
alright.
not.
Jollywood.
No, 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 no. We don't know what I name this thing.
Would have to give it a different name.
Yeah, cause you know how we stay down here with the names
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things.
the wood
Anything
part and
about
then
wood in
Jolly.
it.
Well, man not Jolly.
Yeah, with a giant wood thing,
Yeah, we're not trying to wood thing and man don't Jolly. No. No like it. We not support that. We're not buying no movie from no Jollywood. Fire.
Fire. But I see you at the same way I would see like a major eye because he started out in the online space
Yes,
as
I
well.
remember his is it Patricia?
Luna.
No, Patricia is quite Perry. Major
Tracy
name
says
is
quite
Missy with
fair.
a Z.
Mitsu's as yeah. Mitsu's terrible, but
Love
hella funny.
Mitzi.
And then he started adding more characters, and it just grew into this big thing. And now he's a big entertainer, like
Mm-hmm.
legit entertainer. So I see you going along that same trajectory because again, the quality of your content is really good. I don't know if that was also conscious. Was it that conscious decision you also made to continuously improve the quality of the content?
I think it was just me trying to please the audience. So
Yeah.
I guess it just evolved over time when I started to say, okay, this video never do so good, or let me do it this way, and then I see people respond when I present it in a certain way or whatever. So
Yeah. What about collaborations with other content creators, whether comedy or otherwise? Is that something you'd be interested in as well?
yeah, so funny enough, Raul had messaged me about collaborating,
Oh
and
my
we were
god,
supposed to be collaborating on
that would be amazing. I
we were
can
supposed
already
to be
tell you that would be
collaborating on
amazing.
even some mental health stuff and comedy, but it's just a matter of time. When we can
Daphne
find time.
from Uptown and you, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
And um and then so he's in Florida, I am in Missouri, so we would just have to plan it to whenever
Yeah,
we're in the same physical space. So I've thought
yeah.
about collabs. I've thought about collabs with there's some persons on TikTok that I would love to do some collabs with. There's this other Rasta guy. What's his name again? Yardman Eaton
Mm-hmm.
and Gallus in Paris.
Yes.
And so there are some African ones that I would want to and then there's an American girl I would love to collab with her as well, Ariel Fritz, but she has like over 1 million followers, so she
Yeah.
probably, if I DM her, she probably wouldn't even see that. So
Girl, I don't think you understand how strong your platform is. Is she Jamaican or is this a white person?
no, she's a black person. She's not Jamaican. She lives in the US, but she's from another,
Island?
I'm not sure if it's an island or an African country, but she's American, but she has roots outside of America.
Yeah, girl, your platform's strong. I don't understand this. Is this you being coy and
Mm,
humble because you don't
no.
need me? Because your platform's strong. I don't understand. What you mean? But
No.
anyways, yeah. So it would be great to. I heard Rod. I'm like, yeah, that would be an awesome collaboration. Okay, so Julie, I don't want to keep you much longer. What would your advice be? So I know you've not yet started monetizing anything, but the interest is there. Persons are coming to you to say, hey,
Yeah.
can you do this? And of course, you're wanting to go into the acting space, etc. But what would your advice be to persons who they have an idea for content, or whether they want to go in comedy, or whether they're entertaining someone of respect and they don't know how to start?
Start. Put out a video. If it flop, delete it and hide for a day and put out another video again. If it flop, hide again. Flop, hide until one do good. You say do good, all right. Oh, really? Nice. Even if you have to delete the account that is in the previous one, do that. And start over again. But start.
Yeah.
Start.
So flop hide
Start.
until it something take.
Yes, start. And
Okay.
you know I have to hide neither, but I was just exaggerating, meaning to say, if you're shame, all right, take a little shame that the corner and go on. But start. Post. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Post.
Because you have to, yeah.
A lot of people reach out to me on TikTok and say if I can give them a shout out on my TikTok. The problem with that is my followers are not looking for shout outs for other followers. So what I have to tell them is that shout outs don't really help people. Because it's kind of weird. Like somebody come on your platform to see you. If you shout out somebody else, they will just wait until you're finished talking about that person and then back to regular programming with you.
Yeah.
So what I tell them is just create content. Just create the content. Create the content. Create it and
Yeah.
post. Ask your friends to share it. Let your friends share it. Make your friends give you honest feedback. Your
Yeah.
real friends will tell you when you put out crap. Listen, I have a circle of friends. If my constitution don't strong,
Oh
me will
God.
them me done me, man. And that's what I
Um,
need
yeah.
because they are the ones that will be honest with me. They are the ones that have my back, whether
Yeah.
in public or in private. They are the ones that have my back, and so I send your videos to a couple of friends, ask them what they think, but at the same time, take every criticism with a grain of salt because remember, your calling was not a conference call. Your calling was just a calling for you. So some people may not understand what your calling is. So
Yeah.
if you feel deep down, said them not really catchy levels, and you have to prove something to your friends, go ahead and
Yeah.
post, post,
Okay.
post, post, post.
All right then. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was awesome. So post or hide until it catch, and then yeah, I understand. I understand. All right, Julie. Thank you so much
Thanks for having me.
for talking to me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And guys, if anyone know any Hollywood producer,
Yes,
Julie want act.
yeah,
She wants
Mama,
an actress.
boss me, boss me.
She wants a boss. All right. Juliet, thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me. Take care.
Yeah, man.